And this morning's Consumer Alert today marks the 86th anniversary of the Social Security Act getting signed into law. That act helped create benefits for older workers and unemployment insurance while establishing a safety net for families with dependent children. And joining us now to discuss how we can maximize our Social Security benefits, we have retirement planning expert Dan White. Good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Nice to see you as well.
So from a Social Security standpoint, let's begin with why it's important for people to have this nest egg built up as they reach retirement age.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Social Security is probably one of the few retirement income sources that is inflation protected. So most people today no longer have pensions, so Social Security kind of becomes the bedrock of their retirement planning. It's a guaranteed income source, and it's going to last as long as you will. And that's kind of a problem today without people having pensions. The biggest concern people have is running out of money. So Social Security is an integral part of retirement planning. So people really should try to build up their nest egg so that they can defer Social Security as long as possible. It actually, full retirement age is 66 or 67. If you take it before that, you're going to get a lower Social Security check. And if you take it after that, you get 8% deferred credit. So it's important that you can maybe draw down on your nest egg a little bit and defer that Social Security as long as possible.
All right. Do you recommend coordinating with your spouse to help increase benefits?
Yeah, we really do. It's kind of important because, you know, most of the time one spouse may have a larger Social Security check than the other. And obviously the most, the thing people don't recognize about Social Security, if you die on the day that they tell you you're supposed to die, it doesn't matter whether you took it early or late, you're going to get the same amount of money. So we always tell people, if you plan on dying after that day, take it later. If you plan on dying before that day, take it earlier. Just tell us when you're going to die. But therein lies the problem. Nobody knows. So the rule of thumb with spousal coordination is you want to defer the larger of the two checks for as long as possible. The lower of the two checks, it really is not as important when you take that. But we want to maximize the larger of the two because when one spouse dies, the surviving spouse is going to get the larger of the two.
Okay. Now, you mentioned age and some numbers a while ago, but how many years do you recommend somebody work to make the most out of their benefits?
Yeah, you have to work 10 years. You have to have 40 quarters to qualify for a Social Security benefit, but they base it on the highest 35 years of earnings. So you have to have 35 years, but that doesn't mean you should quit after 35 years because you may have some very low earning years in there. You know, when you start out working, you're probably not making a whole lot of money. So you might have some really low earning years in there and you're making more money later in your career. So if you can work a couple more years and take some of the lower earning years off of your earnings history and add some higher earning years, that's going to boost up your benefit. Okay.
And real quick before we let you go, when it comes to taxes, what's your best advice?
Well, taxes, nobody likes paying them, but they started taxing Social Security in 1983, and there's certain tiers that for single people it's $25,000, for married couples it's $32,000. Once you get above these earnings levels, provisional income, they start taxing your Social Security. So the problem is they have never once adjusted these limits for inflation. So in 1983, hardly anybody paid taxes. Today, I don't run into many people that don't pay taxes on their Social Security. So again, another reason to defer it as long as possible, not only to increase the check, but then those other years you might be paying lower taxes as well.
All right. This can be a lot to get into, but thank you for trying to simplify it for us this morning, Dan White.
Have a great day.